mother is a fantastically energetic person trapped in an utterly exhausted body. It's very confusing. Her energy level has two settings, all or nothing. Most of the time it's nothing, but when she has a burst of energy, it's awe-inspiring. For instance, when we were very young, she decided she wanted my brother and me to be raised in a racially integrated neighborhood, and then she set about to create one.
I'm going to be so sorry I didn't wait until later to take that diuretic. My character, Anne. was a real person. She was born in Detroit. When she married, I believe she moved to Lansing. She was always in Michigan. And from the time she was a small child, there was something wrong with her, but they could never really figure out what was wrong. But she was uncomfortable, and she had a hard time focusing and staying awake. She integrated her neighborhood in West Lansing. Black families began to move in, and there was an attempt at blockbusting. And she convinced the community that an integrated neighborhood was much better off than an all-white neighborhood. And she worked very, very hard to promote the integration in the neighborhood and social activities among the neighbors.
What's going on?
In what sense do you mean?
You're not writing a play about me, are you?
Oh. No. No. Mom, we've been through this before. I don't really write traditional plays. I work more in the genre of solo performance.
Okay, the solo performance. Is it about me?
Well, this play is actually not a solo piece. There are other people in it. It's like a solo show, but with other people in it. It's a whole new thing.
Oh, wow, it sounds great. What is it about?
It is a multi-character theatrical exploration of issues of health and illness, both in the individual and in a community. Did you want to read the grant proposal?
No. I just want to know what you're doing, and if I need to go upstairs and hide until you're done.
Both Lisa Kron and Anne Kron are obviously based on real people. Lisa Kron actually wrote the play and then made herself the main character in the play. So I'm playing a character, but that's also based on a real person, and the real person is the playwright. No pressure there. She's Anne's daughter. So at the heart of the play is that mother-daughter relationship. So the play is partly about that, but it also deals with how do we define wellness? What does it mean to be well? Just because somebody has a diagnosis doesn't mean that they might not be healthy. I think of like Michael J. Fox, who also has a diagnosis of Parkinson's, but I would also think of him as a well person. He works, he does interviews, he seems to be dealing with his illness. His illness doesn't define him. And to not let your physical self define you, I think is a sign of health and wellness and well-being.
Mm-hmm. But now who's the individual?
The
individual.
Okay, look, I work using autobiographical material, but ultimately this is a theatrical exploration of a universal experience. So it does utilize some details about you, but Mom, it's not that big a deal.
Honey, it's okay. I just wanted to know what's going on. I don't like it, but I can deal with it. I mean, it's not like you're going to make it seem like I'm a hypochondriac or something. I mean, it's true. I'm not exactly crazy about my living room ending up here, but I know you've got to do your work. I don't want to make you self-conscious.
Thank you.
For me, it's really a priority to provide opportunity for women's voices to be amplified. So I'm looking for playwrights who are women, or roles written in plays that are complex and interesting. I confess that I trained as an actor first, so if I would be jealous if I didn't get cast in it, then I know that it's something that I should be paying attention to. What can I sink my teeth into? And I think both choices this season season accomplish that. But then beyond that, I'm looking for opportunities for actors who are different ages, who represent different cultures, who represent all kinds of stories that are present here in Boston and in Wellesley, and so that audience can come in and have conversations with the stories that we're telling and see themselves on stage and be a part of that. So it really is a privilege. I take it very seriously. But then also, what I want to do is I want to find new ways to use this space that we have, the Ruth Nickel Jones Theater, which we've been working out of for decades. It's a beautiful gem of a theater, an intimate house where magic really does happen. And that's thanks to the designers, to the playfulness of the performers, and to the openness of our audiences. So it's really a wonderful time to be working in this space.
Yeah, so Joy is basically, well, I play like 3 characters from the A track. Joy is the main one. Joy is this person who has been in the hospital for a while. She's kind of like been through the ringer in terms of allergies, so she really knows like everything that can happen to you in the hospital, and she's kind of fed up with it. So she's kind of like a goth, is how I've been playing her, like kind of like bored and like, you know, gives you like intense stares. And so yeah, that's Sweet Joy. I think definitely there's a huge question for me, at least, of who gets to tell what story, and what one person telling a story versus another person telling the story accomplishes. I think, you know, there's questions of, can Lisa tell her mother's story? Can she tell the story of the Black people that she grew up with? Can she not? You know, like, all of these things are explored throughout the play. And can she tell the stories of the actors that she's hired to be in her play, and how does that come about? So yeah, questions of identity and stories. It's good to be back. It's fun. I love that my first professional job is right back where I came from. It's really nice to be able to perform in a space that I feel comfortable and where I know, you know, a lot of the people that I'm working with. And yeah.
It opens the 17th of January and it runs Thursdays through Sundays. There are matinees on Saturdays and Sundays. It's a really intimate space. It's an intimate piece of theater, but don't let that freak you out. There is, I can't say that there's audience involvement, but the audience is really a part of the piece. The audience is really integral to the piece. It's just a good piece of theater. I mean, it does all of, and it sort of ticks all my boxes. Like when I go see theater, I want something that's going to make me think. I want something that's going to make me laugh. I want something that's going to transport me for the hour and 15 minutes that I'm in the theater. And I think Well does all of those things. I think Well ticks all of those boxes. It makes you laugh, makes you think, it transports you.
We will often have talkbacks after our 2 p.m. Saturday matinees, either with the cast or with an invited guest. And so I urge you to check back with our website, which is www.wellesleyrep.org, where you can get tickets, find out information, check out our blog, and stay engaged with us as we develop those conversations for the community that we hope you'll be a part of.